Shalom, you're watching Arutz Sheva TV. I'm Yonah Kapinski, and this is our daily edition. Following 10 days of Hamas attacks against Israel and after repeated rejections to de-escalate the situation, the IDF has started a new phase of Operation Protective Edge. Large IDF force entered the Gaza Strip. Their mission is to target Hamas's tunnels that cross under the Israel-Gaza border and enable terrorists to infiltrate Israel and carry out attacks. The IDF intends to impair Hamas' capability to attack Israel. Following the approval of the government, the IDF will call up an additional 18,000 reservists. According to reports, the operation is deemed as limited and will probably not go further than 2 or 3 kilometers into Gaza's territory. This is deemed to be deep enough in enemy land to find the opening into Hamas's attack tunnels, like the one that was used on Thursday morning's infiltration into Israel by 13 terrorists. Large forces from the IDF's infantry, armor, artillery, engineering, and intelligence corps are operating in several zones within Gaza after breaching the security fence that separates it from Israel. This is all in coordination with the Israel security agency, the Shabak, and with support from air and naval forces. These zones are in Gaza's northern, central, and southern sections. The Diplomacy and Security Cabinet has authorized the IDF to widen the operation further if necessary. Egypt, meanwhile, has issued a statement saying that Hamas is to blame for the possible deaths of hundreds of Gazan civilians. The statement appears to have purposely been issued simultaneously with a statement from the Israeli Prime Minister's office. IDF Chief of Staff, Major General Benny Gantz, briefed the troops before the operation began.
אנחנו נצא למתקפה, תהיה מתקפה משולבת, יבשתית ואווירית, בתאום קרוב עם הפעלת כל העוצמה, הן בנתיבי ההתקדמות, הן במרחבים שלהם אנחנו הולכים, תפיסת השליטה האמיתית על המרחב, בהמשך המאמץ האש בתוך רצועת עזה על כל המוקדים, בערנות מוגברת של מערכי הגנה, עושים את כל מה שאפשר בעוצמה הנדרשת, כמו חיילים ישראלים וגאים, שיהיה לכולנו בהצלחה. תודה רבה.
More than 60 missiles were shot towards Israel during Thursday. Thursday seemed to be one of the more intense days of missile fire since Operation Protective Edge was launched. Hamas responded to Israel's ground operation in Gaza by firing yet another salvo of rockets towards southern Israel. Sirens were heard shortly before 2 a.m. in Ashdod, Ashkelon, and the surrounding areas. 3 rockets were intercepted by the Iron Dome anti-missile system over Ashdod. Earlier, Iron Dome intercepted 5 rockets that were fired towards the southern Israeli city of Ofakim. 2 other rockets exploded in open regions. There were no physical injuries in any of the attacks, but many locals suffer from symptoms of trauma. Early morning, a mega terror attack was thwarted as 13 terrorists were nabbed as they were on their way already out of the tunnel, the terror tunnel, on their way probably to a terror attack in one of the kibbutzim in southern Israel. In the early morning hours of Thursday, IDF soldiers identified a group of 13 terrorists attempting to enter Israel via a tunnel in the southern Gaza Strip. The tunnel was one of several the IDF had recently uncovered that were to be used to smuggle terrorists into Israeli cities. IDF soldiers attacked the group. Several fatalities were reported. The tunnel has been destroyed as well. No IDF soldiers were injured. An IDF spokesperson said that the terrorists were nabbed as they emerged from the tunnel. The IDF had prior knowledge that the terror attempt would take place and was ready for the group. The group was heavily armed, and indeed, had they gotten past the IDF patrols, they would have been able to commit a major terror attack, killing many people and nabbing hostages. This, according to IDF sources. A few hours before the beginning of the operation, or at least before it was published to the public, 2 counter-protests took place in Tel Aviv. One of the Shavrim Shtika organization calling out against a ground attack in Gaza, or against all different other military attacks, against what they defined as the moral problems of the military attacks of the IDF against the terrorism in Judea Samaria and the Gaza Strip. And the counter-protest was of right-wing activists who were raged by the fact that this kind of protest is happening at all, especially the fact that it's happening while our soldiers are out there fighting against terror in southern Israel.
What we're trying to do is, as a civil society organization, to raise the moral questions about this prolonged occupation, and even during this difficult operation, to say, wait, maybe we're crossing some red lines. The second thing we're doing, and this is something we really know so well, you can't lie to us. We know the context. The context is operation over operation, an occupation that has been going on. It's about time to say that us using violence will not solve this. The only way to end is actually try to find a new direction, a new route.
We came here to strengthen the soldiers of the army of Tzahal when they are fighting for all of us. The traitors from the left are here to stab the soldiers in their back.
What is this protest that you're standing in front of?
A group of leftists that are getting money from the European Union, and they came here to protest against the army, against the war in Gaza.
So your message today?
They are traitors. They get money from an enemy, and they have to sit in jail, these leftists.
The Solidarity Mission of the World Jewish Congress, WJC, traveled to the south Thursday to meet with the Israelis hit by the Hamas rocket attacks. The delegation visited the bombarded cities and kibbutzim and spoke with the local leaders and met with soldiers and their commanders. The mission, which came to a close on Thursday evening, comprised representatives from all WJC regions: North America, South America, Europe, Eurasia, and Africa. 57 international Jewish leaders came to Israel for 2 days of meetings. A further 21 Israeli leaders and WJC staff joined them. The mission was organized at very short notice.
We are one. We certainly don't experience the daily hardships that you've experienced, but we feel it, and we are with you. We want to strengthen you, want to show you that we don't forget about what you're going through, and we'll do our share with our own governments back at home to hopefully tell the world what is really happening here, and we hope for better days. But for now, we are one, we are strong together, and we support your courage to go forward.
Earlier this week, families from the south came to the Ariel University for a day of fun and relaxation. The activity was organized by the Yeshiva, the Hester Yeshiva at Tfachot, and the Student Union at the Ariel University.
We connect the yeshiva from the north to the children in the south with activity in central Israel. It makes the whole nation one, and with God's help, to let them have some calmness. They also deserve a summer vacation. Everyone wanted to volunteer to this activity. The whole day I've been getting telephone calls. What can I help? How can I help?
Okay, that's all for today's daily edition. Next week, at the beginning of the week, we'll be joining the Nefesh Ben Nefesh, new Olim immigrants coming to Israel. Yes, also in these days, especially in these days, people are coming to join the nation of Israel here in the land of Israel. So we won't have the daily edition the first 2 days of the week, but we'll be back with more news, and of course, all your news updated here on Arutz Sheva, IsraelNationalNews.com. Shabbat Shalom to everyone.